In the last round of the Pro Truck Race Series, everyone was banging and bumping right off the start line. Something had to give, and it was usually the guy racing next to you. Rick Johnson was the high-flying winner in his Ford, but it's anybody's race today as they all head to turn number 1 together. Pro Truck Racing is next. Round 7 is the La Paz Pro Truck Challenge from Baja Sur. Hello everyone and welcome to La Paz, Mexico. I'm Steve Weiss along with Ivan Ironman Stewart, and we're here for another Pro Truck short course event, our second of the season.
And I'm excited about being in La Paz, Steve, but you know this has got some elements of desert racing because it's very, very dusty, plus it's high speeds. Guys, we get up a lot of speed here, but I think it's going to be fantastic.
Welcome back to beautiful La Paz, Mexico, where we have just completed the Pro Trucks Challenge Heat number 1 with Rick D. Johnson on top, followed by Brian Stewart, Jimmy Knuckles, Dan Hunt, and Jeff Dickerson. And Ivan, if you're looking for key moments in the race, this one came very early.
Well, we caught up with Norman Casania, one of the hardest working guys that I know, and we've been working on this event, or you have, for a long time. It's coming together. Are you happy with the way it's going so far?
Yeah, I'm very happy. This is a great event. I've been working almost a year ago with him, you know, taking the idea to promote the Destiny touristic of La Paz, you know, with mix it with the off-road. So we got a great event today.
The fans certainly think so. It's a very enthusiastic crowd on hand here in La Paz, and they've been waiting a long time for the Pro Trucks to arrive in Baja Sur, as we found out earlier in the week at the kickoff ceremonies. There is no bigger sport here. Not soccer, not baseball, not anything. So when Off-Road's biggest star showed up, they were thrilled to have the Ironman in La Paz. And La Paz certainly showed us a good time. We were treated to a late afternoon cruise through the bay, which was a great way to cool off and see the sights, including one of those world-famous sunsets of La Paz. This region has some spectacular sights which attracts visitors from far and wide. And what a backdrop to stage a race from. We stayed at the Hotel Marina. How's this for a spot to prep your truck getting ready for a big race? Ivan, when the Pro Trucks left the hotel to drive down to contingency, everybody in town heard them roaring through Main Street.
I love coming to La Paz. I always love the Baja 1000 because we finished here. There's so much enthusiasm. The kids, we went to a high school and just mobbed by the kids that wanted autographs for souvenirs, as you know.
Just gotta love Baja, huh?
Ivan, I don't know whether your arm has recovered yet. You literally signed autographs and posed for pictures for hours.
Not many drivers really like doing that, but I always have for many years, especially with the Hispanic fans and the Mexican towns that I've raced in. They just love the off-road racing down. It's a fantastic time for all of us.
And how about this? They had a Ride with Ivan Stewart promotion, and we had a winner. We also had somebody from the tourism department who took a ride. Ivan, you buckled these folks up and took a tour of the track at high speed, no less.
Steve, I don't get a chance to drive very often, but Rick Johnson loaned me his Toyota Pro Truck here to give some rides. And boy, I tell you what, I was in seventh heaven sliding this truck around. And, you know, I love this. I wish I had more opportunities to drive. I just love doing this.
It's a marvelous feeling because it's the best pilot, Ivan Stewart. And this is the capital of the off-road, Baja California Sur.
Well, the water trucks are spreading what limited resources we have on the track because we're ready for heat number 2 of the Pro Truck Challenge. We'll be right back to beautiful La Paz. Welcome back to the La Paz Pro Truck Challenge. I'm Steve Weiss along with Ivan Ironman Stewart, and Al Hogan is one of the 9 Pro Truck drivers along with Jeff Dickerson lined up for heat number 2. The spotters are positioned on top of Dan Hunt's race semi, and we're just about ready to go racing as we jump inside with Rick L. Johnson.
Green flag.
And it is the Toyota clear out in the number 8 position with the early jump as they race towards turn 1. As the big crowd here watches the rest of the Pro Truck finishers, we're going to take a break. Stay with us. A lot of great racing to come. Welcome back to La Paz, where we have just finished heat number 2 of the Pro Truck Challenge. Rob Reinertson, our winner. Meanwhile, the crews continue to make tweaks and adjustments on the trucks because conditions are different than we see at a typical desert race. The dust, quite a contrast to just a few days ago when the Pro Truck teams were traveling south to reach La Paz.
She's coming down pretty good. We're not real sure where we're going to end up.
It's starting to run across the road.
It's going pretty good here.
These are members of Herzog Racing and the Milgard Windows teams.
You see it's a little crazy outside, a little windy right now. It's really still hot outside. I've been getting a little wet, sweating and stuff, but we know the Milgard window Toyota is completely dry.
Oh, it was unbelievable. We planned on getting down here into La Paz on a Tuesday, and about 4 days later we ended up down here for the race. We went through flash floods and hurricanes, and it's really hard to describe it. Lots of rain and washouts. We had to unhook race trucks from trailers and trailers from tow trucks, and it was an awesome adventure.
Hurricane Marty dumped nearly 20 inches of rain on parts of Baja in less than 48 hours, so it was an adventure getting here. But the upside to the storm, following the passing rain clouds, this beautiful desert will bloom even more colorfully than before. Because of its geographical isolation, there are many desert plants in Baja that grow naturally nowhere else on the planet. Baja California Sur has a fascinating history, much of it connected to the missions established here starting in the late 1600s. Their development followed the arrival of the famous conquistador Cortez in 1535 in what is now Bahia de La Paz. A permanent mission was established here by 1720. This cathedral in La Paz, built in 1861. A modern city has grown up around it, with numerous bay view restaurants and a friendly, proud population. The people of La Paz welcome visitors to their city with open arms. Tourism has long been a dominant piece to the local economy, and the shopping here is some of the best you will find anywhere. If you're looking for something with a little slower pace, travel like we did to the nearby town of El Triunfo. Many years ago, this area's largest settlement, the former silver mining camp, transports you back in time to the boom days. It also served as the setting for a delicious barbecue where local delicacies were prepared for all of the Pro Truck teams. Of course, there's plenty to do besides eating in Baja Sur. The region has become a favorite of visitors looking for adventure. There are plenty of fine hotels and miles of beaches perfect for camping. Once you're settled in, well, there are lots of options, including some extreme sports on water and on land. Be sure to bring your friends along because there is a lot to see here. The waters surrounding Baja Sur are widely considered to be some of the most fertile anywhere in the world. The underwater scenes here are stunning, and the sport fishing is second to none. There's also a very magical place in Baja Sur. About 3 hours from La Paz is Magdalena Bay, one of 3 Baja Sur sanctuaries for the 40-ton gray whale. It's the longest migration in the animal kingdom. These gentle giants travel 10,000 miles from the Arctic each year to return to their birthplace. The gray whales have a protected status in Mexico, and they seem to delight in their interaction with humans. They spend 4 months in the warm waters of Baja Sur, teaching their babies how to swim and fish before returning to the Arctic. The whales seem to know Baja Sur is a very special place, and local tourism officials want to share it with the world. They want to share everything from its beauty to its very favorite sport.
I think the off-road is the biggest down here on the state of Baja Sur. You know, you can see a lot of fans. You can see the little kids, grandpas, and everybody's here, you know, to enjoying this nice event.
Well, this is the moment those fans have been waiting for. It's time for the Pro Truck Challenge main event, and where will top-seeded Rick Johnson line up? He's selected lane number 7, the spot he got the jump on the rest of the field from in Heat 1. We'll be right back. Steve Weiss and Ivan Stewart back for the start of the La Paz Pro Truck Challenge as Al Hogan settles into that 9th and final spot, and Brian Stewart will start in the 3rd position, and we are ready to go.
Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! Rick's on the inside. Stay on it, stay on it.
And it is Rick Johnson's Toyota first through turn 1. Inside now in the Ford of the other Rick Johnson. He's got the Toyota, Dan Hunt, and Brian Stewart all out in front of him as they head toward the big jump.
Ooh, Steve, we got a big problem. Dan Hunt has got into Rick Johnson, it looks like, and we've got a major problem.
To Rick Johnson and Jeff Dickerson, that about wraps it up from La Paz.
Well, it does. You know, Steve, we come back now to Mexico for the Baja 1000 in November, so I'm excited about that one.
Don't want to miss that one. That will determine our season-long champion. So long from La Paz, Mexico.